You got to be a bold motherfucker to wake up broke and still lay there. Change your financial future by joining my sales team. All it costs is $49.99 to get started. You don't have to carry product. You don't have to worry about shipping. The corporate office handles all of that. And if you're not ready to change your financial future, change your health. Click the link in the description box below for more information or to join my sales team or buy these products. If you have not watched Hollywood on Netflix or completed the series yet, you might want to turn this video off because this is a spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, because we about to spill all the tea. Want to talk about it? Here you go. Nessa, girl, did you get into Hollywood on Netflix? The new Ryan Murphy series, which is co-executive produced by Janet Mock and the rest of them hoes we like from over there at FX. Baby, when I tell you this show got it going on, the show got it going on. I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna borrow a line right now. Maya Angelou says in Still I Rise, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. Let me tell you something. Hollywood is the hope and the dream of so many minorities and marginalized communities realized. You know what I'm saying? It is the dream truly realized. One thing I want to say, I want to start out by saying Ryan Murphy does a very good job of advocating for underserved populations without making his pieces feel like a march or a rebellion or a riot or an outward protest. He does it so subtly, yet it makes one feel so triumphant. The last, let's say, 15 minutes of the entire series brought me to freaking tears. How so many minority communities were realized and actualized and humanized and treated with the dignity and respect that the all-American dream should offer an American citizen. It was such a powerful movement because so many different communities were able to share in success and triumph at the same damn time. So many different communities that had different individual struggles that most times did not interlock with one another, won at the same damn time. And just the spirit across the whole series was transcendently victorious for so many different groups. And those groups include women, gays, blacks, Asians. Like it just was a great series. I don't know what rock I had been hiding up under, but I just got introduced to Patti LuPone with Pose when she played Leona Helmsley, the landlord. When I tell you Patti LuPone paid her part as that wife of that studio executive in Hollywood, she did that. The black man that played the writer did that. The character that played Rock Hudson did that. Let me tell you something, y'all. I never felt so proud to be gay watching this series, and it made me cry because it gave me, I know what I went through being a child of the 80s, growing up in the 90s, with being closeted and the discrimination that I felt. I could only imagine what it is my gay ancestors felt during the Hollywood golden years, transitioning from silent films to talkies. Like, it was a lot. And it's weird because people who fit the heteronormative mold in America, you may not get this, but there's a lot of privilege in being able to walk this earth in the way that you naturally, normally live and breathe without thought. You know, it's just normal for you to just wake up and be you. It's okay and it's normal, and you don't have to think about the way you breathe and the way you show up in the world. There's a lot of privilege in that, in the fact that there's a lot of people who can't do that. Gay people in particular, to wake up and have to hide who you are day after day after day, it is very taxing and toxic on one's soul. And just the things that these people had to endure mentally and emotionally, it was great to see someone champion the cause and let these people know, you look, I'm like you, and it is okay. The overarching theme and what I took away from Hollywood is that representation is important, okay? People can only dream as far as what they've seen. I've always said that. Up until Barack Obama, you never had little black boys running around at career day saying, I want to be the president of the United States. It was just an unspoken fact that black men were not presidents of the country, and we had never seen it, so we did not know how to even dream in that color. And I could only imagine what the world would have been like had Camille won the Oscar for leading lady way back in the 1950s, 1940s. Had Rock Hudson been able to stroll the red carpet and hold his lover's hand, what that would have done for that young gay boy out there that got rocks thrown at him every day after school, thinking that he would be alone. What it would have done for women to see the head of Ace Studios being headed up by a woman, and she's greenlighting hit movies, hit after hit after hit. It would have said to women, you have more worth on this earth than to be somewhere cooking food and taking care of children. You too can lead a company, and it would have sped up the progression of this country so much faster, at least 50 years faster than what it is. Now America, you know, we're starting to chug along and gain some momentum when it comes to equality across the spectrum, even though with what's going on in the media, especially with the killing of this young man in Brunswick, Georgia, it feels like sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. But we are making progress in notable strides, and it's just, this movie was just a great inspiration, and it left me feeling like possibilities were endless. And if only we could not, if only as a society we stopped, I want to get this right because it's profound. If only as a society we stopped living in the what is and started living in the what if. You know what I'm saying? When I could not even sleep last night after watching Hollywood, because I kept tossing and turning thinking about the what ifs. What if Camille would have really won that Oscar? Then what were the other movies that would have came along with leading black ladies not having to play maid? Maybe Dorothy Dandridge would have gotten that Oscar. Maybe Lena Horne would have gotten an Oscar. Maybe Cicely Tyson wouldn't have gotten an Oscar. Hell, maybe Diana Ross would have got a Grammy. Hell, throw one in there for Susan Lucci. Maybe she would have got a damn Emmy. Like, what if? What if, you know, Patti LuPone was a real character and we saw real women heading up studios? Maybe by now Hillary Clinton would have been the president. What if Rock Hudson would have been able to hold hands with his lover on that carpet? Maybe we wouldn't have had to have Stonewall and some of the other riots and social protests which caused the killings of a lot of gay people. What if? You know what I'm saying? Like, so many communities would not have been marginalized for as long as they were if we stopped living in the what is and begin to live in the what if. It was an all-inspiring series. Queen Latifah did the damn thing. It shed a lot of insight on things that I didn't even know were real. Like, I know Hattie McDaniel won the Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind, but that's all we know. I did not know that there was an alleged lesbian affair between her and Tallulah Bankhead. Quiet as a skip, I didn't even know who Tallulah Bankhead was. Vivian Leigh, that played the Gone in the Wind actress who played Scarlett O'Hara. I did not know that Scarlett O'Hara was actually an English actress. Something else that was very profound to me, and I probably should have known, but I did not, and Queen Latifah did a damn good job in making me feel, was the fact that she won that Oscar but was not allowed to walk into the place. She had to wait outside and wait for somebody to come get her. And you know, the thing that show the thing that series showed me, especially the scene with Queen Latifah telling the other black actress her story about how they would not let her in. The one thing I don't understand about white supremacy and racism and just white people's thought process back then is that, why is it important for me to feel less than in order for you to feel good? Like, what psychologically, mentally, and emotionally did it do for a theater full of white people to keep one black woman and her date, so potentially two black people in the theater? What did it do for you that she waited in the lobby, and what would it have taken away from you had she been allowed to sit in the front row? I don't understand why, in many cases, our mere presence disturbs you so. And that's something that white people have got to dissect in their own psychology. And it makes me ask the question, do you truly feel superior, or deep down inside you feel inferior? Because here is the gag. If I know down to my bone marrow that I am superior, the mere mention of your name or your presence doesn't shake nor stir me. It damn sure doesn't rattle my bones. I am able to stand up amongst you and still bask in all my superiority and my king and queenness, because I truly am superior to you. So the fact that keeping me out of the room is necessary for you to feel superior suggests to me that deep down inside you truly feel inferior. And I don't want to turn this into a race thing, because that's not what it's about, and God knows the world doesn't need more of that. But it just makes me want to really get into the mind of people who actively practice racism. Something else that was interesting, the gas station attendant, the guy that owned the gas station, his real name in real life was Scotty Bowers, and there's actually a lot of books and literature and pieces out there about him. That was a real situation, that he ran a gas station that serviced as an escort place where people go get their cake and eat it too. I did not know that, but I am not surprised. And it's weird, because you would be surprised how many underground rackets, circuits there are. I mean, you know, the people say that there's an underground Hollywood pedophilia ring. I really don't know what to believe when it comes to that one. But I can believe that there's a lot of cha-cha-cha going on in those Hollywood circles, and that's the tell-all I want. That is the tell-all I want Elizabeth Taylor's diary. Like, I would love to just have been in the room with Elizabeth Taylor, Vivian Leigh, Rock Hudson, just all those different people, Doris Day, Judy Garland, and all of them, while they fool-la-la over some cocktails. Lucille Ball, because I know they was in date. Lucille Ball knew the tea, and I wish they would have incorporated Lucille Ball in this situation somehow. I'm sure she was in that era. Nevertheless, it was really good. You know, something else that I want to bring up, oftentimes in this country, when it comes to telling the minority story and the story of oppression, it's often black and white, and as of recently, we've introduced kind of the Hispanic story, the Mexican story, with all of this border patrol stuff that's going on with the president. But we never truly get to hear the story of the oppressed Asian. And I think that the anime Wong story in Hollywood was very important for multiple reasons. One, it said to me as a black person, in this country you don't have the only license to oppression and pain, right? Even though we may be affected disproportionately, you don't have the only license to oppression and pain. Other people were also oppressed in a similar fashion, which therefore suggests, and what I've always pushed, is that most people in the world have more things in common than not. You know, we always hear about the story of there's no roles for black people, or that the only roles that black people could play were made, so on and so forth, without realizing that Chinese people, or Asian people rather, had the same struggle when it came to Hollywood. They were typecast into one type of role. America would never buy into a leading lady being an Asian woman, so on and so forth. And so it made me feel good to be able to share in that with the Asian community, just seeing them have some representation, and B, just to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get so caught up in your own sphere, your own pain, your own shit, that you don't realize that some other people are going through the same thing as you. I also gathered that from this film. You know, it just made me feel good. And in closing, if there's anything that anybody could take from this, I want to say stop living in the what is and start living in the what if. It left me feeling like the possibilities were endless. Do not be limited to your environment, to what you've been taught, what you've been told. You know, the world is yours for the taking. Get out there and get it. I encourage all you guys to watch Hollywood. It's not a gay film. It's a all people film. People from every walk of life could enjoy this series. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. Let's drop that into the comments and discuss what was your favorite part. What did you take away from it in Hollywood? And I'll call y'all back. Bye.